Let's start. Eu tô ao vivo. É ao vivo. Waiting for more people come. The first live of channel. Namaste, Kino. How are you? आपका स्वागत है. So our first in Gita reading is the first live that I'm going to be reading with you. The Gita. It's going to be like this. I'm going to read the verse, talk about my thoughts, my interpretation of this sloka, and after I want to read your interpretation, your views, your thoughts about this sloka, okay? And in the end, I'm going to read the commentary in the Gita. The Gita that I'm going to be reading is the Mukundanand Gita, okay? Rock Atar 7, nice look, Friday. Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra. Hello, Tati YouTube, how are you? Everybody ready to do the reading? Don't forget to press the like, so the live is going to be sent for more people and our community is going to grow. Why? How are you doing? I'm good, ESJ. So guys, let's start. First, the Gita, my thoughts. And after I want to hear your thoughts. Some mutes. Namaste, Madhur Prat Singh. How are you? So let's start. As I say, I'm going to be reading the Swamukkundanand Gita, okay? You have shown me a glimpse of an Indian woman, sister. Yeah, people say that I look like Indian. So let's do it. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. First chapter, first sloka. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after gathering on the holy field of Kurukshetra and desiring to fight, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? I'm fine. Hi Vinaya, Namaste Jigut. So, in the first sloka, Dhritarashtra is asking what his sons and the sons of Pandu did after entering the battlefield desiring to fight. It seems a silly question because when two arms enter in a battlefield desiring to fight, you already know what's going to happen. In the war is something inevitable. When two arms go to the battlefield to fight, what doesn't matter who is the stronger, doesn't matter who is the winner, everybody lost. Because in a war, everybody lost, even the winner. So when he asks what happened, he wants to know the result, what happened, how his sons and what's happening specific, who was the winner. But you need to remember the Gita is not just a book that tells us a mythological story. The Gita brings some knowledge for our life. It's for about our mind, our body, the material world. which verse are you reading? The first sloka, first chapter. You're going to read all these slokas in their right order, okay? Hello, Holex. Hello, everybody. Zenitsu, Mayank. So, as in the beginning, as I say, when you need to remember that Gita don't talk about history, mythological history. Is talk something that you need to think further than this. It's something about our mind, the human mind, and the material world. So you need to think this in a more practical way. For example, everybody has their own fights. We all going to be going through difficult times where we will need to fight and give our best. Sometimes going to lose, sometimes going to be the winner. But the most important thing, we need to be stronger. We need to prepare ourselves to do what's to do the best that we can do to solve our problems. So when we are about to do something in our lives that is big, and especially something that is difficult, a bad situation, a moment that is very hard for us, sometimes we feel so much fear, we feel weak, we feel anxious, and sometimes we even want to give up because it seems impossible to solve this problem, go through this phase. But doesn't matter how much fear we have, doesn't matter how difficult things should it seems see, we need to remember that our lives is the consequence, is our actions and their consequences. When we need to reflect, if we are in this situation, which are the actions that made us come to this moment? Everything that I did, everything that I thought, everything that I said brought me to this moment. So what I can learn from this, if I look back, I remember very well everything, the things that I said and did, which are the things that I can decide if I'm going to keep in my life or not. How are you going to deal with the consequence of these actions? When you are about to do something really big in our lives, we need to be logical and try to put our mind to think in a way that we are not influenced by the anger and anxiety and the fear, because when you act with fear, anxious, and anxiety, probably is going to have more problem in the future. So we need to think in this moment that I am living now, what is the most logical thing that we need to do? Um, because when you are about to go to a war in our lives, job, relationships, and career doesn't matter. We need to put our feelings aside, something that is really, really difficult because everybody has expectations. Everybody wants to do what's simple and what feels good. But unfortunately, sometimes what make us feel good is not the right thing. In deep of your heart and mind, we know that. But anyways, it's always easy to do what's more what makes us feel good. So when you are in a difficult moment about to do something that is really difficult, we need to remember Krishna, remember that everything that we do has consequence, positive and negative, and but not just consequence for us, but the people that live around us too. Sometimes when you are in a difficult moment, it's difficult to think in the others, the consequences of our actions in our environment, because sometimes we are so selfish and we think that people will not understand us, people will not support us, and we always see us like if you are more smart, like if you we are more intelligent, like if we are more, if you, we are better, but it's not like that, unfortunately. We need always to remember that our consequence always affect others that live around us. And sometimes we need, especially when you are about to do something big, we need to remember that better than do what's easy, we need to do what's right. One is the thing that feels good to our sense, other is the thing that makes us feel good from inside. Yes, yes. Why Sultana look like Indians? I can do a video about it later, but focusing on what I was saying. In our lives, when we're about to do something big, like the Pandus were about to do in the Kurukshetra war, so many things go through our mind, and our, as I say, our mind becomes very confused. We feel a lot of things, like I say it, anxious, fear, angry. Sometimes we want to give up or just procrastinate and we say, I will solve this later. And the time is fast passing. But when you decide to not do something, you are doing something. Because when you stay quiet, when you stay if don't do anything, expecting the the thing solved alone or by other people, you are choosing inaction. We are You are choosing give the responsibility of your life to others, and this can be harmful in the future because in general the worst part of our actions, the bad consequences of our actions come to our life very later when you are not expecting. So when you find ourselves in a battlefield about to do something that we know that can change our life forever, we need to think in some things like how I came to this moment, what I could have done in a different way, how can I solve or minimize the bad consequence, and what can I do now in the present moment to change this to a better thing, not just for me but others. And if the things go in the way that I want, if things works well for me, how I will try to avoid go through this situation again, and what are the learnings that I am taking from this. And we also need to think if the things doesn't work well, if the things end in a bad way, how are you going to feel? What are you going to do? Because as I say, everything has the good part and the negative part. And when you do something, we always expect the better things, obviously. We expect that everything that we do goes according to our mind. But you know that life's not like this. So if the things doesn't went in the way that you are expecting, what you going to do? You always need to have your mind. you are prepared to start from the zero. We are ready to lose something. You are ready to deal with all the responsibilities in your life, because if the things goes in a wrong way, you're going to be able to stay detached from the negative result. You'll be able to keep following following your life without put the without put the fault in other people, in God, in the world. The resemblance has a lot to do with climate factors which determine our skin hair. If you know, in our lives, we always need to remember that doesn't matter the result, positive and negative, these don't define us. And you need to learn how to be detached from the results of our actions, because the life is like it's a cycle, up and down, and we go through great moments, but we also will have a lot of fights in our lives, so many things to do in our relations with the family, friends, and in the career, studies, so in our health. So some moments are going to be so hard. And sometimes we're going to try to find a war, and this is also bad, because most of the problems that we have in our lives doesn't matter that we don't like to admit, but we are the we are we are the cause, because most of the actions that we do in our life, we in general, when we take some decisions, we are thinking our pleasure, we are thinking in the status, in the money, so many wrong things, and we want the things immediately, and this put us sometimes in bad moments. It's so difficult sometimes to admit that most of our problems is just our fault. And sometimes we have this bad habit to put the fault in God, in other people, the nature, because our ego don't want to accept that sometimes we take dumb actions. Sometimes it's difficult to us to admit to ourselves that we are selfish, that we are so egoist, that we are a little bit innocent and a little bit ambitious in a bad way. So when you are in a bad moment of our life, in a moment that we need to be strong, to fight and try to win, as I say, we need to learn how to be logical and take and do an analysis of our thoughts and feelings and put aside, like, okay, I'm here, this is happening, and I have this fear, I have this anxious, I have all these expectations, but what is happening for real? Sometimes when your mind's confused, we look to something, you look to our problem in a bigger way, and sometimes it's not even that big, or the opposite. We think, oh, this is a small thing, I can do this later, I can try to solve this later. And it's not a good idea, because something that starts in a smaller way grows. So we need to be logical and put our feelings and thoughts aside and reflect very well what's really happening. My fears, my expectations are realistic. I am able to see things in the right way. like this is situation so difficult as I think, or I am putting too much feelings about this. I am too attached in this. So so many things we have to thought in a bad way. Yesterday, thank God I know all these things that you are telling because I also read and learn from it. Have also done a math. Yes. So when you wanna do an analysis of a situation, as I say, more than try to be logical, because our feelings sometimes make us take the wrong decision at that moment. And you need to learn how to put aside sometimes our fears and act. Doesn't matter how much fear we have. We need to, okay, it's normal to have fear, but also I need to be brave because everything can end in a bad way, but also in a good way. And I need to act. It's our life, it's the human life. We need to act in life. Doesn't matter the result. We cannot be, as Krishna said, attached to the results of our actions. We need to focus on actions because doesn't matter what you do, you're going to have the consequence, the bad and the positive anyway. When you are having also big expectations about something is a big mistake that many people do because sometimes we want so bad to be the winners. We want we want so bad to receive something or to achieve something, and we put so much effort to achieve this. When you can and when we cannot achieve, we feel so bad and we put ourselves down. We start to questioning our intelligence. We start to questioning our ability, and sometimes it's not that we are dumb, it's not that I did something wrong, but at that it was the just at the moment it was not to be so, because we become so attached to the things, to the idea, to our goals, that we put ourselves in a situation that our happiness becomes dependent on the result. And when the result is not what we think, we feel so bad with ourselves. Sometimes we got angry with life and put all this anger that we have in the others, in the society, and this make the things be worse because we start to act in a way that just make the problems bigger. Our memory works by starting off people in groups based on physical features. If someone has not starting our mind, we assume they belong to the group. That's where the principle of need, Shama Karma often works wonders. Yes, must try morning. It must be morning there. Here it's morning, stay, it's 10 a.m. I do it often. What are my goals? Where I am currently? What do I have to do? Which qualities I need to develop? Yes, this is exactly what you need to reflect because so many things happen in our life in daily basis that sometimes we are not acting, we are just reacting to the things, to the people, and we start to do it. And when we see we don't have the control of our lives, so that's why it's so important. Even the things that look so small, we need to reflect. Okay, I want this, or this is happening, but okay, I'm going to. If I do this, what can be the realistic consequence? in the positive way and in a negative way, because sometimes we want something so bad that we see this as something so cool that we don't ever imagine all the bad consequences that is going to come with this. For example, I met a girl years back and she wants to work in in Dubai, and she could, she achieved, she conquered the job, but had so many problems in living Dubai that she was receiving a good money, she was living well, but had, but even the job it was good, so many problems come if the she moved into Dubai. That like don't exist a perfect situation, a perfect place. Everything's going to have a bad side and a bad and a good side. And sometimes we forgot this because, as I say, when you want something so bad, sometimes we just think in the good part. We don't even think the inconvenient things that can come with this. Nishkama karma means that work that's right and comes from your inside so that you are no more focused on the fruit, rather focus on the yes, is what I need to think sometimes. Focus in the action because you know everything's going to happen there, consequence anyway. But the consequence is inevitable. Things, if you do a good job, if we do what we need to do, the consequence will come. Natural. We don't need to worry about it. Obviously, in this world, it's so difficult sometimes, especially when talks about material words and things like they want, and we need like opportunity to have a better career. Sometimes we want so much this because we need this that we just look to the results, to the fruits, but you don't think in the action the good way to achieve this. You can't run away from problems. Problems are part of our life. We have to overcome them instead of run away from problem. Overcome them. You feel happy. Yes, yes, yes. You cannot run away from that. As I say in the beginning, life is a cycle. We go up and down, up and down. That's why we need to keep in our mind what is the actions that are better for me. Because as I say, in general, we do our actions think what's easy and what feels good in the moment. But sometimes things that are easy and things that make us feel good right now is not the best decision for our life, especially in a long term. So before we do things, before we just react to life, we need to know who we are, who we want to be, where we want to go, and reflect and meditate about okay, in a realistic way, how what can I do now that is going to make me achieve this? Because it's going to have problems. It's going to happen things that make you feel sad, things that will make you feel fear and, and lost your hope. But you need to remember, okay, life is a cycle. I am in a bad moment. I am about to confront something that it seems very big. I am in a battleship now, and I need to fight. And I need to fight. Instead to think all the bad things that can happen, you need to focus. Okay, I will do my best now. Everything that happens for a way. It's normal to have problems. Solve. I already went through bad things and I'm still here. and I will keep doing, and I will overcome, and I will and I will do my best to do what I need to do, and I will be okay with all the consequences. Doesn't matter if the things in the first time doesn't end up in the way that I want, because life is like this. This don't defines me, and I always can try again. Sometimes we don't achieve our goals in the first moment, the first try. But what we do, get up and fight again. Like, subscribe, please. Prashant Mishra, Latin American Girl, Manjot, yes. Most of the times, the problems actually do good to us, but we think of them as bad. Yes, we always see things more in a negative way, but it doesn't matter what's happening in our life. We know that everything has two sides, and we can learn with everything. When you are in the bad moments of our lives, you can reflect how I came to this moment and what I learned from this. And okay, how can I change this for a better, where I feel more comfortable? Because many moments of our life, you make us leave the comfort zone, and we need to be prepared for it. But we never are prepared. But as I say, it's not about to be prepared. It's not about to don't have fear. It's about you know that you are in a bad moment, but everything, nothing stays same. Everything changes. We are in a bad moment, needing to fight, but after the storm is the camaraderie, is the moment to be happy. So when you everything changes, nothing stay the same. So you should not just think so much in the fruits of our action. We need to remember, doesn't matter the moment, doesn't matter how big problems are. We need to focus on the moment and think, I will do the right thing for me, for others, and I need to do what's right. It's just a phase. Not think so much in the possible consequence, just in the actions that you can do in this moment. The principle of devotion is purity of heart and devotion. God does not care about the meaning or religion because what's true is dear to him. Gita 99. Yes, Aditya. Well said, Didi. Please read Bhagavad Gita and Synthesis of Yoga by Sri Aurobindo. That's why I believe what happens happens for good. Yes. Namaste, Ji. I am from India. Namaste, Sumesh. Yes, I tried a government exam once. I didn't success, but I tried second time. I succeeded, but later I got screened out. Then I thought that job was not for me. Good. Yes, and yes, Vinay, this is so common. This is so common. Sometimes you see people that are so successful, but we don't even imagine everything they went through to be there. Like me, I think it was 6, 7 years, I was studying to pass to be a flight attendant. In the first exam, I didn't pass, but in the second, I passed very well. In the first moment when I didn't pass, I feel so bad. Oh my God, what are they going to do now? So in the next day, I went there again. I paid to do the exam again, and I had success. So it's like I stood more. I put my fears aside, and I said, I went good all the semester. I know that I have ability and capacity to do this job, and I will do. If I cannot pass now, I will pass later. So in the second try, I did. Some other people try more than 8 times and they pass. Every people has their own moment. Sometimes you're going to try a lot But it's this: every time that we try something, we learn how to be better, how to improve, what to do and what not to do. Everything is lessons. Must say, but how do we know what's right? Arthur Thompson. So I think the best way that we can find out what's right is be realistic, as I say. Some things are so good so to us that it's so attractive, but we need to be realistic and think, okay, if I do this, how is going to be the impact of this in my life in a positive and a bad moment? For example, we know that, for example, eat pizza, it's amazing, it's delicious, but you know that it's not something health. You know that if you eat this frequently or this type of food, your body is going to be sick in a long term. It's not going to be now or in the next week. It's going to be in a long term. You know the right thing is to be healthy. You know this. Wake up early, work out, eat food that maybe is not so tasty, but you know that it's health. We always know what's right because sometimes the right things are not so good. For example, in a job, in the job, sometimes have someone that's so good like you, has good abilities, a good certificate, and people sometimes in a job also wants to. In Brazil, have a saying they try to be, but I don't know how to translate for English, but it's basically sometimes people try to put the others outside to be in their place. We know this thing is not right. Maybe you think the good thing, if you do this, you're going to have a good result because if you be in the position of the person, you're going to have what they have, but you're going to make the other suffer. So I think the best way for us to know what's right is think not just in how the action is going to be good for us, but what's the price of it? How this is going to impact you now, but also in a long term? How much problems this can bring to you? What is the negative consequence of this? How is the negative consequence of others that live with me, the people that I love? How this going to affect them? Then, if you think that this is something that is going to make you have more problems in future, or you put others in problem, or you made others that are good for you, if they're going to suffer from this, you know that is not the right thing. The right thing is the thing that we know that do good for us. It's not the thing that make us feel pleasure now. It's not the things that are yes. The right thing is the things that we know that is the better for us. Doesn't matter how difficult are. For example, be lazy is better. Make us feel better than wake ups in the morning and stay in the bed for hours using cell phone. We know that if we have a good routine, eating health food, workout is going to be good for our memory, our mind, and our body. We know that if you want to be someone in life, in a career, you need to study a lot. It's good, study. No, sometimes it's boring, but we know that have knowledge, you open many doors for us, not just in a job, but in the relationship with people, in culturally speaking. We need to know our rights, understand the world that we live. So to know what's right, we should think not just in the result, especially the positive and desired results of our action, in all the probable consequences that you have. If you need to pay so higher for something, or if will put the others in a bad situation is not the right thing. It's like someone that knows that are in love with someone, and this someone is already engaged with other, and we still go be the third person in this relationship. You know that you are doing wrong. You know that you are trying to be happy above others happening. You are trying to destroy other people relationship. You can be very in love, but it's not the right thing. Arthur, will learn its quality Vivek is the quality of difference between wrong and right. Yeah, sometimes take times for us really understand what's right and what's not right. Because unfortunately in this world, the things that are more wrong, they in general are more tasty. In general, the bad things are more attractive than the things that are right. Um, if Hindu resides in a non-Hindu majority country, preserving one's safety and culture becomes essential. Yes, Aditya Kumar. For example, I am a Hindu living in a Christian country. Preserve my identity as a Hindu is something important. One day, if I have kids, I want them to follow this and protect this because it's very easy for you to be influenced, especially when you are young, because sometimes people don't want to be the different ones. So we need to be strong mentally because people are going, if you are a minority, people is going to use this against you. So be strong mentally, physically to deal with the segregation, the bad comments, the fear of being alone. Because some people will not accept you, depends on who you are. So you need to be mentally strong to, okay, I don't need this. Otherwise, you're going to be influenced. Preserve one's safety and culture, then you are strong girl, Didi. You need to be. Amber Singh, hello. Sagar Thima, welcome, DJ. Thank you. Aditya Kumar, Bhagavad Gita 335. It's better to perform once one do it imperfectly than to perfectly perform someone else do it. Yes, it's a good verse, and I took some time to understand. Reach out to international Hindu organizations like Vishwa Hindu Prashad or the Indo-American Foundation for support. Yes, your city name, Bien, São Paulo. It's São Paulo. Let me see how to guys say it. Which Bhagavad Gita do you prefer? In general, I use, as I say, the Swami Kundananda has another one. So, uh, hello, Jiji. I mean, did you watch you now in Maharashtra? I don't remember that. Then, uh, one thing that feels good or sense. Hi, man. Good evening, Sandeep. Kokor, Nair. Theirs has a lot to do with makeup. Why is to look black and black is done? Yes, looks matter, but not that much. At the end, we are humans. You gotta know all the things you are reading. Good morning, man. I remember what's wrong. I'm trying to read our low. Namaskar means that works right and comes from. So there are numbers. You look very beautiful. Thank you. Let me see. Make vlog of your city. I will do. I have a vlog to finish the dating this week. Reach out. Are you going through the interpretation of Swami Kundana? Yes. As I say, I will do these lives all Thursday. and I will read this sloka, give my views, and read the Swami commentary. Okay, and I also want to read yours. A minute. Now we're going to read the commentary of Mukundanand. Are you going to something very practical? Yes, you can. Keno, have you ever celebrate Diwali? Yes, I also have a video how I celebrate Diwali this year. You can check it there later, Aditya. If you have any tip, you can just put it there, don't worry. You can read out Vedanta Ashram São Paulo and search the head guru there. Yes, I can. Especially some Hare Krishnas and Gaudiya's traditions here. So I'm going to read the commentary of Mukundanand. The two armies had gathered on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, well prepared to fight a war that was inevitable. Still, in this verse, King Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya what his sons and his brother Pandu's sons were doing on the battlefield. With us apparent that they would fight them, why did he ask such a question? The blind king Dhritarashtra's fondness for his own sons had clouded his spiritual wisdom and deviated him from the path of virtue. He had usurped the kingdom of Hastinapur from the rightful heirs, the Pandavas, sons of his brother Pandu. Feeling guilt of the injustice he had done toward his nephews, his conscience worried him about the outcome of this battle. The words Dharmakshetra, the land of Dharma, virtuous conduct, used by Dhritarashtra, depicted the dilemma he was experiencing. Kurukshetra is described as Kurukshetran Deva Yajnam in the Shatpat Brahman, the Vedic textbook detailing rituals. It means Kurukshetra is the sacrificial arena of the celestial gods. Hence, it was regarded as the sacred land that nourished Dharma. Dhritarashtra feared that the Holy Land might influence the minds of his sons. If it aroused the faculty of discrimination, they might turn away from killing their cousins and negotiate a truce. A peaceful settlement meant that the Pandavas would continue being an hindrance for them. He felt great displeasure at these possibilities. Instead, preferred that this war transpires. He was uncertain of the consequence of the war, yet desired to determine the fate of his sons. Therefore, he asked Sanjaya about the activities of the two armies on the battleground. So this is the commentary Swami Mukundanand did in his Gita. I think this Mukundanand has commentary so easy and practical to understand, especially for people that don't born in a Hindu family. He's putting the most simple ways for everybody to be able to understand. We're going through. I can suggest something. Pode me pegar. You can read. Where are you from? Drex, I'm from Brazil. How many languages do you know? English, Portuguese, and Spanish. Learning Hindi. Can you take with me Hindi language? Not in this video. Sanjay wasn't around the whole thing happening over the Kurishtra Dhritarashtra through his divine vision. Yes, since he was blind, is a very interesting way. But guys, that's it. This was the commentary, as I say. For me, the Mukundana, I'm going to be always use the Mukundanand Gita to read the slokas in the commentaries because I think his comment is very simple, straight to the point, and for me, it's one of the Gita that I love the most. But and have others, everybody can use their own preference. And we're going to be here every Thursdays to read a sloka, do commentaries about. I want to hear your commentaries. I'm going to do my own. In the end, I always going to read the Swan's commentaries. Okay, I try to do this every Thursday, at least one sloka, because it's important for our mind, for our spiritual journey. Because I don't know about you, but I feel really, really good reading these scriptures because it doesn't matter how many times we always can have different insights from it. Sanjaya, yes, good decision. So make really, really good for us to have this type of knowledge in our lives because sometimes it's very easy to forget the knowledge that we receive because since we are born, we already receive so many tips, so many advice, so many knowledge, especially you that already born in a Hindu family. Probably you already heard about the Gita and their teachings since you were born. But sometimes in this material world, we become so deep involved in this material words in their promise that doesn't matter how many times you read these scriptures, doesn't matter how many times we hear the knowledge, sometimes in the day by day we forget this and we become easily angry, we easily have desired, we easily do things that is the opposite of our beliefs. So we become a little bit hypocrites. And this is something you need to take care. It doesn't matter that you already know the knowledge from Gita and other books. You need to remind our minds, our soul constantly, because more than know about this knowledge, we need to learn and be useful to put this knowledge in actions in our lives. Hello, Jiji, stay well. Hello, Sandeep, how are you? I have a very small pocket guitar which I carry with me so that I can read anywhere I go. Yeah, this is amazing. This I have in my phone. So where I go, I read the Gita and the Mahabharata. Your approach is good. Thank you, Kino. So, guys, that's it for today. As I say, I'm going to be here all Thursday reading at least one sloka, discussing about it, giving my opinion, reading your opinion, reading the commentaries of swamis, and you're going to be able to have this spiritual moment in our community because better than just do the vlogs, walking the street and fun things. We need to also work in our spiritual life, in our minds, and remind ourselves that we are souls. We need to remind that we need to search always the knowledge and more important, practice the Dharma, live a Dharmic life. Hare Krishna, Bhagda, Bila. Hello, RG Gaming. How are you? So that's it, guys. I already talked too much. It's almost 1 hour. I was playing just 30 minutes. I always speak too much. That's it. I'm very, very thankful for each one of you that came here to watch me, to have this moment of me. I'm very thankful for your presence here. Dhanyavad, guys. Dhanyavad. I will see you in the next live, in the next Thursday. I'm going also to put the reminder so you can click there and the YouTube is going to remind you, okay? Namaste, hello, wallow. Take care, good night, Hare Krishna Kino. Hello, Ritki. Bye, guys, for Monday.